event is sponsored by a group called OneNation and Rock the Boat. And there will be some music to entertain people that are attending. That should be starting pretty soon. I'm not sure if it's live or DJ. There is a guy standing on the stage. Had to wait for it to light to adjust because there's a big screen behind him, and he's just playing songs. I'm going to turn it back there, and then there will be at 6 o'clock there will be a discussion on renewable energy and energy policy. That will be starting at 6 o'clock Central, but first music, so I just go ahead and go live. The organizers said that it's perfectly fine that I stream it. This will be for those who cannot attend in person and to archive it. Plugged into my power pack so that I don't have to worry about my battery running low, even though it's fully charged. They were 99% when I plugged it into the power pack. DJ playing music. I think there will be an actual live band, but they have not shown up yet because I decided to go ahead and go live. This event is also sponsored by the Des Moines Register, the newspaper that also was a co-sponsor of the event that I streamed last night, but for some reason Ustream didn't archive the majority of my video. There must have been a system burp somewhere. So after I ended my stream, it didn't give me the option to save it. So I'm a little miffed at that. So I only had 7 minutes that I was able to put up on YouTube, so that didn't get you much. So I hope that the Des Moines Register makes the video that they made yesterday available on some permanent archive somewhere. This Woolies is the same place. I'll give you a little background on this place. This Woolies is the same place that Occupy Des Moines actually rented for a couple of months prior to the Iowa caucuses of 2012. And so in November and December of 2011, we rented this space down here, and we were actually given permission to use the bar, the glassware, pitchers, and if we wanted, we could put our own soda tanks in here for water, and use fridges to store food, and the cabinets to store other supplies, which you did. And that's in addition to a space we rented up on the 3rd floor of the adjoining building, which we rented for longer. But so we call this space Occupy Headquarters. good events in here. So now it is Woolies, and it is a very popular East Village hangout. They have frequent concerts from local bands, and they have decided to be a co-sponsor and host of this event tonight. So there are pictures up on the screen. Give a few seconds for the lighting to. I'm sorry?
Can I refill your drink?
Yeah, please. Pepsi. A bartender is getting me some more Pepsi. And might not be able to see the images too well because of the light is coming right at my lens, but it's different pictures, faces. I'm not sure who all they are. Thanks. So just flashing different things along with the music. I'm just going to turn it away from that. And on the floor, you're just looking through the back of a chair, but it says Rock the Vote. Rock the Vote has been a voter registration and education campaign for decades to try to get especially young people to register to vote, as well as new citizens. And people and citizens of any age who haven't voted before, who haven't voted in a long time. And the Rock the Vote campaign uses music in order to try to get their target audience, which is young people, 18, 20s, something like that, to get them into taking part in the political process, as crooked as it may be here. So the hashtag that is being used is hashtag OneNation. So this is, I just picked up one of the little cards that is on here. USA Today is also...
Nice to know that CCI is here in force, right?
Well, is there others besides me?
Yeah.
Just one of my activist cohorts is here. So CCI, he mentioned CCI is the Iowa Citizens for Community Improvement. And that is an organization that has been around 40 years. And they are not only an advocacy group, they are an activist group, and many occupiers were already members of Iowa Citizens for Community Improvement or joined it, or who otherwise supported it by joining their protests and other direct actions. And so there are other CCI members here. So I think they also spread the word about this. So I thought it would be fun to come down here and live stream this. And the music that you're hearing right now is coming from a DJ. And he is the screen behind is playing pictures and video clips that have been mashed together with Rock the Vote in there. Every once in a while you'll see that. And then on that wall over there, I wish I could zoom on this, but Ustream doesn't allow me to zoom, unlike Bamboozle, but that's just OneNation over there. And then behind me, above the one end of the bar, a projector is projecting the Des Moines Register. So I took a picture of it. Might not be able to see that too well, but it says the Des Moines Register that they're using a projector to project that on the wall, just like the words OneNation on the wall over there and Rock the Vote on the floor. So projectors are being used to put those images where they are, and it's pretty cool. The crowd is getting a little bigger, more people filtering in. Just a little this geometric stuff. There's another person who, I don't know if you can see her, but she's using a monopod. She just went around the room, so I didn't get a good glimpse of her, but there's a woman who is walking around with her cell phone on a monopod. I'm actually using my tripod set up on the table. Totally collapsed, just the legs out. So I can keep a steady shot going. She's just told some people at the other end of the table that I'm sitting at that if they have any questions, they can go to her. So monopod, also known as a selfie stick by some. I don't know if any other media will be covering this. But there is someone else also shooting video. Only if it's empty. He asked me if I could borrow a chair, and I said only if it's empty. Yeah, there are not too many chairs at these tables, so we took the one. Most people have to stand anyway, but I gotta sit. And at 6 o'clock, the actual energy policy discussion will begin. And since there's a windmill shown on these little cards, I think renewable energy will be the topic. People are getting drinks. Most will be drinking beer, obviously. Since this is a bar, but no, this chick is drinking Pepsi. See, there she is. There's a woman with the monopod with her phone up. I'm not sure. I think she's shooting video. I don't know if she's streaming or not.
Some people know how to. My wife says you don't know how to drink.
I think she may be doing selfie style with the front camera. Yeah, she's doing selfies. There's another guy with a camera. He has his cameras on a rig on a fatter handle. I'm not going to move around a whole lot. I'm just going to stick right here because I can pretty much cover the entire bar by turning my mount. pictures of these posters that are on that wall over there. I'm not sure if they're just a normal part of the Woolies decor or just something special for this event, but I decided to take pictures of them anyway.
4:30 in the morning, there can't be that many people. You know where the car is?
Now the screen is showing towards OneNation and the big wind turbines. Now switch to something else, but it was showing some wind turbines.
I'm gonna go home and go back to bed.
Yep. Okay. Clip from David Bowie's song "Let's Dance." That's what you're hearing right now. Again, for those just joining me, this is Occupier Kaylin coming to you live from Woolies, a bar in Des Moines East Village. The event is sponsored by OneNation, Rock the Vote, and Des Moines Register and USA Today. Event titled "Now Let's Talk Energy." So there's music beforehand, and then the actual discussion will take place at 6 o'clock Central. There's a guy holding a little sign that says voter. That's just to indicate that he is a registered voter. In the supreme song "Respect." That was a little cut you heard before what's playing now. Just playing a mashup of all kinds of different songs from different periods. Obviously, this guy is using a computer to control the playlist. And he has turntables that he can do record scratching. A little clip from the 70s show Soul Train, which was one of the first mainly black entertainment programs that was on a nationwide network that featured Motown music, the first beginnings of hip-hop, soul music, and dancers dancing to the different songs that were played by the host, as well as from live performers who appeared on the show. citizens video, interspersed with the phrase "rock the vote." A bit flashy, so that's why I'm not aiming my lens at the screen right now. It's just a little too flashy, makes it hard to see. Now this, not so. It's put in for rock the vote. So more people are filtering in. When the panel discussion gets started, they will sit on the stage as well. Or they may sit in front of it. DJ's console is pretty big. The other side of that guy's little paddle says we're climate, so this climate voter. So he will vote for candidates that he feels will reflect his ideas for energy policy, renewable energy, trying to cut down on fossil fuel use and things like that. At Flash, someone took a picture of some other people at the other end of the table that was sitting here. This thing will be packed pretty soon. Take your coat off and stay a while.
Chilly walking in and comfortable here.
I rode my bike and that was too much even to ride my bike.
Oh, is that right?
Well, you know,
You get the coat.
Well, I mean, it's still in the 40s. It's still 47, so that's not bad for January 14th.
yeah, isn't that wonderful?
Yeah.
That's fabulous.
probably about 50 people in here. Like these two have something in common, having been in the same place. She will be moderating the discussion. So she's just doing selfies right now, plus she's shooting videos. Again, the panel discussion on energy will begin at 6 p.m. Central. And the hashtag OneNation. That's what OneNation is one of the sponsors of this event. Or you can use hashtag energy or hashtag rock the vote. Any of those will do. Again, for those just joining me, this is Dr. Mark Kaling coming to you live from Woolies in Des Moines East Village. OneNation and Rock the Vote, Des Moines Register, and USA Today are co-sponsors of an event called Now Let's Talk Energy. There'll be a discussion panel on energy policy, renewable energy, climate change, things of that sort. So that will begin at 6 p.m. Central. Right now, music is just being played while people are getting their drinks, socializing. And this space is the same space that Occupy Des Moines rented back in November and December of 2011, and we call it Occupy headquarters because that's where we used it to stage our protests from. And we held teach-ins, and we showed movies in here. We had other events, as well as we rented the space on the third floor of the adjoining building. So we worked out of both of those spaces in November and December, and then at the beginning of January we gave up this space because we no longer needed it, and we just kept renting the third floor space in the adjoining building up until the end of March. So I have some good memories of this place. It is called Woolies, and it is a very popular place.
Very good. Great time.
The industrial decor is very popular. You know, exposed ducts and pipes, things like that. So bands play live here as well as other events. The Bakken pipeline.
Yes. Yeah.
So
I'm with you on that.
Yeah, I mean we got to stop that thing before it starts.
Yeah. Well, and has it already started? South Dakota
the permitting,
approved, right?
Well,
it hasn't been approved in Iowa.
No. So the application is being reviewed.
Yes.
So the Iowa Utilities Board makes a decision. The Iowa Department
where they're at with that?
The decision is expected sometime in February.
Have they taken all the public input they're expected to take?
Yeah.
Unless the public offers more.
Well,
I mean, they've done their meetings.
The comment periods have been done.
It is up and done.
Yeah. So now it's a review process.
Yeah.
So they're reviewing all the submissions. And then the DNR has to make a decision when it comes to the pipe going underneath rivers and in state-owned land like the Ledges State Park or going under the Iowa side of the Mississippi. The Army Corps of Engineers has to make a decision for when it goes underneath the river,
Mississippi River.
Yeah, the Mississippi when it goes into the states on the other side.
Is it
as well?
Does the route go through the Ledges State Park?
Yeah, it will. And that's what really yanks my chain. In addition to the fact that it crosses the best farmland in the state, it would cross over the major aquifers, and if a leak happens in any of those, screwed permanently.
Yeah.
I mean, when people want to know why that I'm against it, I just say I have two words for that: Mayflower, Arkansas. You know, that spill there, that no one in that town knew there was a pipeline there, and it ruined the whole section of that town because it just came up into people's yards, and people properties there can't even sell because no one will buy it.
Right.
So they're screwed.
Right.
And all Exxon.
You know, I understand when they go through the farmland, the huge disturbance they make
Oh yeah.
when they dig a trench.
Yep,
and put the pipe in.
especially.
Is there any lasting effect short of a leak? Is there any other lasting effect?
What would happen is, you know, once it's done, the pipe is covered. It blocks water transmission through the ground. And because the oil would be going through at such high pressure and high speed, it would heat up the surrounding earth, and it could affect the way that any plants grow on top of it.
And that's known because other pipelines have been built like this.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, it's the tar sands type stuff that you use sand and chemicals.
And even though it's very deep, it affects the soil temperature through the soil profile.
Oh yeah, and because the ground will be compacted, water flow, nutrient flow will be impacted.
Sure. I mean, yeah, heavy disturbance.
Yeah, and if there were drain tiles, those would be broken, and that would disturb any water movement that the farmer had intended by putting those drain tiles down to carry excess runoff down to wherever those drain tiles end up and discharge into.
I'm assuming they repair the drain tile.
Well,
but you know, it's a repair versus the original when it was made in the original soil.
But it would affect the water flow if the drain tile was running right through where the pipe would go.
Sure. Yeah, I'm not in favor of it, and I'm not in favor of it for the fracking that they're doing.
Yeah.
I mean, we can't stop it by stopping the pipeline, but anything that enhances that kind of extraction of oil, plus the burning of it, the carbon emissions from the burning of the oil, all that.
And because the oil prices are so low, and even natural gas prices are so low, that fracking has decreased. And what's good for Iowa is less demand for the silica sand that is used in fracking. So we still only have one operational frac sand mine. Two others have been proposed, but they're on hold or have been blocked completely.
Yeah.
And one would have gone right next to a school. If that would have gone through,
if the oil prices stay low, it might be almost a moot point. But I know they're planning to go. I mean, they've made their decision.
And TransCanada is suing the United States because we stopped the Keystone XL. So TransCanada is very mad about that, and they're suing.
Oh yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah.
The trouble is, if we have a change of administration, that decision could be changed. I'm thinking.
And if the TPP goes through, then we're doubly screwed. Because the corporation could sue a government for affecting its profits if that government passes a law that would regulate that corporation.
Yeah, too many lawyers. Too many lawyers.
Well, too many lawyers doing the wrong stuff.
That's right. So, to your knowledge, are you familiar with any of the candidates' position on the Bacon pipeline, or if they even have one?
Well, actually, O'Malley and Sanders are totally against it.
They've already, that's the position and a stance they've made. Okay.
Yeah.
Are there any others?
Clinton is, I'm not sure. I haven't heard her say anything about it. And the Republicans, I have absolutely no idea. But I
have an idea that they're not opposed, but probably to the person. But I don't.
Yeah, I wouldn't be be surprised if most of them are in favor of it.
Now, I know some a Republican that may be opposed.
Yeah.
And that would be the gentleman Rand Paul.
Yeah.
Because of the eminent domain that has already been stated. If you don't give approval, we're going to exercise eminent domain, and it's not for public good.
Right, because we will not see a benefit of it. Unlike unlike an electricity grid, unlike a natural gas line.
An airport.
Yeah, that a farmer could tap into that gas line, or a business could tap into it. You know, we get benefit out of that. Whereas the back end, no one can tap into that.
What are you doing here, you pot-smoking hippie?
Except the next pipeline that will take it down to Louisiana for refining.
Right. There's no public benefit to any citizens of Iowa, and Iowa's the one that's given up.
Right.
And, you know, and I don't know who, if anybody, would sue those folks on that account, because I don't know what kind of court precedent there's been, but my understanding of eminent domain is for public benefit.
Yeah, actually, I think some farmers have actually started the legal process, and some groups of there are some farmers groups that have actually filed papers in courts in their counties.
Well, that's good. That's good. Can't stop them one way, stop them another way.
Yep.
Well, you know, for this Iowa Utilities Board, well, I mean, we are United States, so we need to cooperate with other states.
Yeah.
And that sort of thing, but with no benefit to Iowa whatsoever.
Yeah, I mean,
why would they?
It could technically be a violation of Iowa law.
Yeah.
Because a utility has to benefit the people in that state, and because a pipeline is not a utility, the oil pipeline is not a utility. I think that's what these suits that are being started are based on.
Oh, it's not the eminent domain necessarily.
Well, and that too.
Maybe that's
because eminent domain has to be used for public benefit.
Okay, sure.
So that's what the basis of these suits are.
And if it's not a public utility, it's not a public benefit.
Right.
Yeah.
Enjoyed that little discussion I had with the person sitting across from me.
Pretty good crowd here tonight.
Oh yeah, and it's growing.
It's good. I wonder if
Now, what website are you streaming on?
I'm using Ustream.
Okay.
And then when I get home, I will get on my computer on my channel page and tell Ustream to upload my video to YouTube.
Oh, okay.
And that's how I archive them, because I have a free Ustream account and they only hold videos for a month and then they dump them.
Okay.
If I paid a monthly fee, then I could store on their server for longer, but you know, I do this on a budget, so I choose to archive on YouTube and then just go ahead and let Ustream dump a video's been on for a month, it gets dumped, but it's already on YouTube. Except last night when Ustream, for some reason there must have been a system burp somewhere, after I ended a stream of a panel discussion at the Register community room in the Capitol Square building, for some reason that one, I hit the button to end my stream and it did not give me the option to save it, so that one I've gone to, I've streamed at the Capitol, I've streamed Iowa Utilities Board meetings, I've streamed DNR meetings, I streamed Waterworks Board meetings because the Waterworks is suing 3 Iowa counties.
I am very familiar with that. As familiar as an ordinary person can be. I mean,
yeah. So I streamed the Waterworks Board meetings.
Oh, yeah. Okay. On Ustream.
Yeah.
But now, if I wanted to see it a month later, I go to YouTube.
Yeah.
Okay. But I can see it currently live on YouTube.
Right.
Okay.
Yep.
I might do that sometime. It's easier than going to the meeting.
Yeah, especially if you can't get there.
Right.
And because I have interest from other states and other countries.
Well, that lawsuit has created a tremendous amount of interest.
Oh, yeah.
All over the country.
Yeah. music is a little loud, so it might be a little hard to pick up on conversation. So I hope you're able to hear that conversation I had with the guy across the table from me. So he has the same views I do on the back end pipeline and what the Iowa Utilities Board and DNR are doing or not doing, and what the Waterworks, Des Moines Waterworks is doing to try to stop the excess of nitrates and the other pollutants from flowing into the Des Moines and Raccoon River, which is where Des Moines and some suburbs get their water from. close to 100 people in here.
That's why I literally took off my suit and put on
So the,
I want people to know that I like these hair.
panel discussion is supposed to start at 6 p.m. Central, 7 Eastern. So until then, DJ will continue to spin his tunes and show mashed up with video clips and pictures. Currently windmills.
I tell everybody, live where you work.
I don't care where you live.
You know, windmills or wind turbines, like some like kind of picture there. Now the other side says climate, so climate voter. Yeah, if you turn that around, you'll see the word climate on it.
Turn it around.
Yeah, that's.
I'm having trouble hearing you.
I said turn it around, you see the word climate on there.
Yeah.
Yeah, climate voter.
That's what I thought you said.
Yeah, Ed Fallon started using that.
Climate voter.
Yeah. You know, he is the one who organized the Great March for Climate Action a couple years ago.
Yeah.
And then last
Clear
year,
across the country.
yep, and then he followed that up last year with not only walking the route of the proposed Vacuum pipeline, then he went to Paris to walk from Normandy to Paris ahead of the
I
climate
didn't know
summit.
that part.
Yeah.
I knew about all the other stuff you mentioned.
And of course, the Paris attacks happened like 3 days after he had already arrived in France.
Do you know, I'm interrupting you, excuse me, do you know what radio station his talk show is on? And does he still do that?
Yeah, the Fallon Forum.
Okay, do you know what call number that is?
Several. KHOI in Ames carries it on
Can
Wednesday.
we get it here? Just on the radio?
Yeah, but I would have to look it up.
That's okay. That's okay.
But you can
I mean, we could get it on the radio without live streaming.
FallonForum.com has a list of the radio stations that are also carrying it.
Oh, okay. Okay, I can find that. I'm kind of a low techie. If I can get it on the radio,
Yeah.
I do it.
Did you get one of these when you came in about the
I did.
climate mobilization? This will be a good event too.
Man, I read about this event. I only did a paper participation last night.
We've had it every day.
Yeah. Well, they said today,
Every day. I'm on Twitter. I'm on Twitter quite a bit more. I've just shown them. This is one of my scorecards on who's still in and who's still out. Climate change. Right. Lindsey Graham is out. Rick Perry was just higher, but he's out. Who's that? Bobby Jindal is higher, but he's out. Scott Walker's out.
Here's the Des Moines radio station.
That's the Des Moines radio station.
Yeah.
1260. 1260 89. This is ADLF 1260?
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. This guy's good.
Very good. All three of them. They keep you the ball.
So the music is turned down. I think this thing is about to
Like,
start.
I'm the Republican. If you're unbidden, we gotta have Republicans. We gotta have. Can't do much without it.
That actually rains a little bit.
Sure.
These people are standing.
Rand Paul got slumped off the prime time for the next debate. And Rand Paul's not going to participate in the next debate.
And you're separated from Jordan twins. I'm trying to tell them you don't understand this. Don't play that game with me now. You're too smart. You know, if you go
It's like we're resetting the stage. The DJ console has been moved off.
Are you part of the organizer? Thank you for doing
The internet broadcaster I was referring to earlier is Ed Fallon, host of the Fallon Forum at fallonforum.com. That's FALLON forum.com. And several radio stations pick up, not only here, one station here in Des Moines, a station in Ames, and one in New Orleans, Louisiana. It looks like chairs are being set on the stage for the speakers. So I raise the height of my mount a little bit. Try to get over the heads of people who are standing. Unfortunately, my tripod is not tall enough that I can put it on the floor.
Des Moines Register, this is One Nation with your hosts, Kara Anthony and Mackenzie Wine. Joining them to welcome you to our inaugural event, Des Moines Register Executive Editor, Emily Nash.
Thanks for coming out for what's going to be a really fun night. Hopefully you've been having fun so far. And for those of you who are not counting, 18 days until the Iowa caucuses. We're counting very closely at the register and won't get to sleep again. This is a really important time to be having this conversation and a really important issue for us to be talking about. Obviously, energy is talked about a lot in Iowa, and it's important in the nation as a whole. And in Iowa, we have a unique opportunity to be part of these conversations. It's something we take very seriously at the Register in terms of our coverage, the events that we've been having, and so we're really excited to be out here to talk about this tonight and to be able to partner with USA Today and the network that we're part of. And we also want to thank Rock the Vote for coming out tonight. So without further ado, I'm going to turn it over to your guides for this evening, my friends Mackenzie and Kara.
Yeah, all right. Thank you. Thank you, Emily. And I think the Register and USA Today have been doing a great job overall with the caucus coverage. Well, we're here to talk about energy, and as Emily said, it's one of the most important issues you can vote on. It connects to so many different things. So we're going to try and make you smarter about all the energy-related issues that are out there that are related to the election. We're going to talk about how we use energy, how we produce it. We're going to explore a little bit of sciencey stuff. We're going to talk a little bit of politics.
Yep. And if we are going to decide the 2016 election, we might as well have fun doing it, right?
Yeah.
Right? Okay, you guys saw me out there with my selfie stick. A ballot box selfie may be one way to have fun this election season. But you can also check out the USA Today Network series, One Nation. We're going across the country talking about different topics from American innovation to American rights. But tonight, the topic is energy, and we're really excited. We have 4 really smart people who are going to come up here, rock the stage, teach us so much great stuff. I'll be in the audience, so tap me on my shoulder if you have a question. But before that, let's watch a video. We have some really great innovation going on here, right here in Iowa. Emily Heaton, who's a professor at the Iowa State University.
Any cyclones out here?
She's going to talk to us via video, so we're excited tonight, and I'm headed out there with you guys.
All right, let's roll that tape.
The work that we do here at Iowa State deals with using perennial grasses for a variety of applications, but we focus on bioenergy. You might just think of it as dilution. So coal is a dirty fuel, and there's no two ways around it, but it's a cheap, abundant, and domestic fuel. So if you're using something dirty, one way to clean it up is to dilute it with something else. So you can kind of think of this as like blended wine, or I think of it like blended wine. That you might have some cheap grapes and you might have some good grapes, and you can blend them together, you get a nice table wine. No one has to know. And that's essentially what we do with biomass. At the power plant there, they know how to blend the fuel in the right ratio so that they have coal, and then they have biomass, and they put it together in the right ratio such that it still works in their boiler system, and it meets the emission profiles that are required. So it's pretty straightforward. We work with the University of Iowa. The University of Iowa has for some time been using oak hulls from the Quaker Oats facility in Cedar Rapids as part of their energy supply. They now have a goal of being 40% renewable energy on the campus by 2020. And a big way that they're going to achieve that is by increasing the amount of plant biomass they burn instead of coal at the facility. So we work with them to help develop, in this case, the Crop campus to use as a power plant. That's just one small power plant. They don't need a huge amount. 2,500 acres on this campus is enough to meet their needs. But it sets an example that the rest of the country can see, and this has been pretty powerful. We now have a clean power plan from the EPA that's going to require states to reduce their CO2 emissions below a baseline. And the states have to have a plan for how to do that by next year. The University of Iowa project and this collaboration using bioenergy helps set an example for others to potentially follow to reduce their CO2 emissions in coal-fired power plants. The basic science behind this is that fossil fuels are plants that took CO2 out of the atmosphere millions of years ago and fixed it into plant biomass through photosynthesis millions of years ago, and then that's just been buried underground for a long time. Now we're re-releasing it into the atmosphere. These plants are just taking that CO2 out today. So when we burn them in a power plant, there's no net change in CO2 necessarily. So it's just reusing the same CO2 that was in the air earlier this year. So we're not adding CO2 to the environment. And because these are perennials, they're also storing CO2 below ground. They have root systems that are long-lived. We don't till these soils, so it's undisturbed. They improve soil organic matter, which ultimately helps improve carbon cycling in our ag ecosystems. Makes the soils better, and overall, it will slowly reduce the content of CO2 in the atmosphere and put that CO2, at least for some time, in the soil.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, and although Emily Heaton, and let's give her a round of applause there. Although Emily can't be here, a couple of her graduate students are in the audience, so if anybody wants to ask some really sciencey questions about miscanthus and about how they're basically extracting energy from plants grown right here in Iowa, we can get those folks up on stage. So we're going to explore a lot of great innovations in energy that are making the planet healthier, that are making the country safer, and making our economy stronger, especially right here in Iowa. So I'm going to bring up four experts, four guests who we're going to spend the next hour talking to. In fact, the first one, Robert Brown, come on up, is also a professor at Iowa State University. Come on in here, Robert. So Robert's list of accomplishments is very long. He said he only wants to be known as three things: distinguished professor at the College of Engineering, which is pretty damn good. Director of the Bioeconomy Institute, and I think that's interesting because it helps us start to think about energy issues as connected to jobs in the economy, and that's really basically what makes people vote. So we're going to talk about energy in that context, and you're a big expert on that. And then you wrote a book called Why We Are Producing Biofuels, and that's basically the something that Iowa has led the nation in, and you're going to be able to connect that in plain English for us, right, Robert?
Looking forward.
Yeah, all right, have a seat. Now let's bring up George Crabtree. George also a very distinguished scientist. In fact, he is the senior scientist and distinguished fellow at the Argonne National Labs in Chicago. So glad to have you. And